Hi, my name is Cyril. No, not Ramaphosa. We have nothing in common. Him, he's a bit chubby. Me, I look like I smoke ARVs. He's running the country. Me, running the family WhatsApp group. He's a billionaire. I'm just breathing air. My fellow South Africans, allow me to introduce your first headline this evening. Tumi, Morake.
Yeah.
Stop ignoring me. Be happy I'm here. So, we are living in such a woke time. I'm so tired of woke. Like, I don't even drink coffee anymore. I'm tired of woke. You know, when everybody's so fucking woke, you low-key audit everything for like racism and sexism and LGBTQIanism. Like I've decided, like the guy who sells sanitary pads, for example, clueless. Falls under all the isms, right? Because, guys, first of all, when they talk about pads and tampons, they use this, it's a military terms, like they offer you protection and security and a weave guard and 3 tiers of security before anything. I'm like, why? I swear, I'm just bleeding. No, I'm just, hey? Like your period sounds like, it sounds like someone's about to step on a landmine because you're on your period. You got Ultra, Maxi, Night Guard. Bitch, those are not names of feminine products. That is Steven Seagal films, okay? No wonder men are so scared of us on our periods, man. They're like, just going that shit crazy. No, it's your advertising. And by the way, men, the reason we go batshit crazy is because nature fucking hates us. It hates every month our uterus just falls out of our bodies. It goes, heck, I'm out. Like, our uterus just loses its shit. It's like, there's no delivery. This is legal service delivery government. We are going on a whole strike. But then again, it's a violent strike. We must throw all the shit out. You're like, we're taking all this shit you built. We're just throwing it out. And then we spend another month rebuilding it. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I lost my shit at you to me. Sorry, I'm coming back after a month. No baby, protect. I'm breaking everything again and coming out. And then sometimes you don't even do it nicely. You must fucking tear at my walls like there's claws tearing inside of me. I'm like, I feel like I'm dying. And they're like, we can cure brain cancer, but we can't cure your period pain. And you know what makes it racist? The pads are white. You cannot take me as a black woman trying to go and buy pads and promise me that the only security lies in the comfort of something white and soft. And then what do they call the pads? Stay free. New freedom. Always. Tell me that isn't white supremacy. Anyway, then there's the technicalities. The technicalities of sanitary pads. They are there to just fuck men up. Like, we have the extra long, heavy, wings, scented, sensitive. Shame, man. Shame. I sent my husband to go get me pads with wings. The poor man came back with pads and chicken licking. I'm like, well, I mean, at least you got the chicken right, you know what I mean? Then there's those guys, shame. You know those guys who are scared to buy their girls, like the heavy one. They'll see the thing says heavy, and he's like, then she's gonna say I'm calling her fat. Then he sees the thin ones, and then he's like, but now I'm body shaming, because then she's gonna be like, but she's trying to be thick, and I'm calling her thin, and then he's confused. Shame. But this is what gets me. I actually don't care what it does to the men. It's what it means for us black women. Because then, the tampons for me have got to be the most dangerous thing to ever happen to black people. Because the tampon package says you can swim if you've got the tampon on. Now, Sibongile, Palisa, friend, if you haven't had swimming lessons before you got the tampon is not going to make you swim. The tampon is not Pastor Bushiri, it's not a miracle worker. Bitch, you're gonna drown. Don't be putting a tampon and be like, I can't swim. I must put a disclaimer. Make sure you can swim. If you're not white, this is not for you. Like, just fucking warn us. Oh, but you know what? I don't need TV ads to remind me that women have their periods, because trust me, I fucking know that we get our periods. It's not like Christmas that you have to advertise leading up to the big day. What's next? We wish you a merry period. We wish you a merry period. We don't need advent calendars. We literally we have a body clock that rings an alarm. And for the love of God, please, you don't have to show me scientists pouring that blue water on the pads. I mean, wow. Is the Queen of England bleeding? It's not royalty. Why blue? Like, I know red will freak people out, right? But this guy's sponsored by the DA. Which makes sense because the pads are white. Because I don't understand it is on blue. Like the marketing team got eye, and then they watched the Smiths or they watched Avatar, and then they were like, oh, let's make the blood blue. Heck. I'll tell you one thing though, I have had a happy period. I think the happy period I had, the first happiest period I ever had was when I realized I wasn't pregnant. Yes, that's a happy period, my friend. You welcome that period. We throw a party for that period, my friend. Yeah. But when you're not bleeding, we're on social media. I actually don't know what's worse, being on your period or just spending your day on Instagram. Like, can we just deal with what's happened to us on social media? Like, who signed off on the wedgie as a sexy thing? Because that's the thing I don't get, ne? Like, how drunk are you at the men's conference, guys? How drunk do you guys get that you go, okay, comrades, you know what is sexy? A wedge. Just, if we get them to understand that they must just pull that thing inside the buttocks. Now, let's discuss the standard South African ass. I don't care what race you are. Even white girls nowadays, they are carrying what needs to be carried, okay? Now, a natural wedgie that you didn't want on purpose, that thing is so. These girls do it on purpose with shots. They pull it in the buttocks. Then, it's a mistaken wedgie. Then they must turn and look at the camera like, I just happen to be minding my business with a wedgie and distorting like I'm the fucking girl from The Exorcist. And this is what is going to make you want to pay many cows to marry me. Like, I don't understand. It doesn't look natural. And they want to do, I was minding my own business in the swimming pool. Bitch, are you wearing a tampon? Because you're going to drown. Because I don't know if you've noticed, like, guys, the black girls are always hanging on the edge of the pool. Always! They're always hanging on the edge of the pool with the wedgie. And they're like, again, incidental. This is not... We need to call a freaking priest for those girls. Okay, I need a hobby.
I see all these restrictions put on alcohol and cigarettes. As a real Cyril, I will put wasabi and ginger on hold. Sushi is overrated. Nothing extravagant about it. If it's so nice, why is it half price on Tuesdays? But this next act is about to give us more than half price sushi. A real raw treat. Sihle, Vezi.
Babkumalo.
Mamkhize. Ngena ntokazi.
Mtungwa. Baba Khumalo, uyazi ngithembe wena kuyo yonke into engiyenzayo. Ngizokhala kuwe baba ukuthi i-vaccine isitholwa abanye abantu mina ngingakayitholi. Angazi ukuthi ngenza njani. Ngisize baba.
Nosihle. Ndoni yamanzi. Uyazi uma ufike la kumina, ufike epark station. Ngokunika i-vaccine. Kanti iyokusiza futhi kuvikele kuzo zonke izifo. I-corona le uyizwa ngendaba.
Baba Khumalo, ngazile ukuthi uyindoda engingayethemba. So ke ngalokho baba, ngifuna wazi ukuthi akungijabulisi neze ukuthi uhulumeni wethu athi uqala ngama frontline workers, aqale ngama government workers, sibe sikhona thina oNosihle intombi zendawo. Ngiyacela baba ngihlanganisele i-vaccine. Ngifuna ukuthi mangiphuma la ngingene ebantwini kuzwakala ukuthi intombi iyaphila ngeke izibanjwe i-corona.
Say no more ntokazi.
Pithiza khothi standard. Hey.
Nansoko i-vaccine yakho.
Ntungwa. Bengazi ukuthi ngingathembela kuwe. Ngale vaccine yakho ngisazoba ngena. waze wangisiza ukhumalo yazi uka nje vaccine yonke ahawungi ngine vaccine before anyone else.
I know seeing Cyril on TV makes this feel like a family meeting, or like I'm about to say something that could affect your access to Savannah. Relax. I'm about to deploy a member in good standing of the EFF, the Everything Feels Funny party. Do enjoy the Honorable Comrade Nick Rabinowitz.
The pandemic has put a lot of pressure on a lot of relationships, and I feel for certain couples. You know those couples, they got together like 3 weeks before lockdown and suddenly had to make the choice whether to move in or not. And I felt fortunate to have been with my wife for many years, that our relationship had stood the test of time. Because I have known her since 1988. That was the first day I laid eyes on her. It was grade 6 history class. I looked across, and there she was, an apparition, a vision. A petite young girl in a little wooden desk with little dangly legs that could barely touch the floor, and I thought to myself, that girl is fucking short. And that was 88, so we've been together like 33 years now, and our relationship's actually older than the new South Africa. I mean, look, we didn't speak for the first 16 years, but in my mind, we were together. And in the time we've been married, which is now like 14, 15 years, there's only been one, what I call a brush with infidelity. And cricket fans, you may remember KG Rabada brushing Steve Smith as he followed through. It was sort of like that. And I also got a 1-match suspension, and I'll tell you how. Basically, you know, it was after a show. This happens to comedians a lot. I was doing a show about an hour and a half from Cape Town in a small coastal village. I don't want to obviously mention the name, Hermanus. And a very attractive Afrikaans woman came up to me after the show, and she said, Nick, can I Afrikaans praat? And I said, yes. And she said, die show was great. And I said, yes, I could understand that. And she said, do you guys want to go for some drunkies? I was with a friend of mine, and I said, do you want some drunkies? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, we'll come for drunkies. And she had too many drunkies. And at the end of the night, I said, I'll drive you home. My friend will follow. And in the driveway, guys, I accidentally kissed her on the mouth. But there was no tongue involved, so that's not really cheating, is it, ladies? But in my defense, she was Afrikaans, and they do kiss everybody on the mouth. What is wrong with you Afrikaans people? It doesn't even matter. It's like mom, dad, oma, opa, oomies, tannies, nuggies, biermanne, biervrouwens, dominees, hondjies, kaikkies. You guys don't discriminate. And obviously, I had to tell my wife. She didn't really buy that, but I didn't want to keep it a secret from her because I'm a terrible secret keeper. And that goes back to 1995, where I kept secrets for a whole year from someone I was dating long distance. But to be fair, it was 1995. Very difficult to communicate long distance back then. No, we didn't have email. There was no WhatsApp. It was just email letters or phone calls. It was 800 Rand a minute on the phone. That's when the dollar was still 4 to 1. And the fax machine, but you know, the fax machine was next to my parents' bed. So there was no faxting going on. For millennials, that was sexting in the 90s, faxting. But it didn't really work out because it took forever for a dick pic to come through. On the fax machine, you'd just be sitting there waiting. And also, it was very rough on the penis. Anyway, so we're sitting in her car in the driveway in Hermanus, and then she turns to me and says, Nick, this is your opportunity. And I said, for what? In my mind. And then I realized very quickly, this is my opportunity to destroy my life and lose my wife and custody of the kids and the house and a lot of my cash and 80% of my friends. Because you always keep 20% of your friends in the divorce, but it's often the cuck friends, the ones who take their alcohol home at the end of the party. So I declined the opportunity, and I think the reason for that is that I'm fortunate enough to have a very long history of declining opportunities. That goes back, I think, probably to Karen Udelman in 1989. Now, I've changed her name, obviously, to protect her identity. It's Karen with a C, not a K. And I took Karen Udelman to see Pretty Woman at the Protea Cinema in Claremont, opposite the Stanhope Bridge, around the corner from the park where the guy sold dacha behind the tree. But that's an unnecessary detail. And I say took her, but my gran actually dropped us in her old 1962 Austin Apache, which broke down twice on the way there. And we got the popcorn, we went into the movie. Julia Roberts' Pretty Woman, it had just come out. Very exciting. And halfway through the movie, Karen Udelman puts her hand on my thigh. And I immediately black out. And what happened physiologically speaking was the blood just rushed up my thigh. And I know what you're thinking, some of you, but it skipped my dick. And it went all the way up my torso and then down my arms into my hands. And my palms started sweating profusely. So when I came to, I wasn't going to take Karen Udelman's palm with my sweaty palm. And to make matters worse, my gran, unbeknownst to me, had snuck into the theatre, into the row behind us, the very seat behind me. And at this point started whispering my ear, Nick, this is your opportunity, my darling. I don't think it even started there. I think we have to go way back to my first love, Jane Baker. Jane Baker and I were in the grade 1 Waldorf school play. It was St. Francis of Assisi. I was playing the lead St. Francis, and I spotted her in the first half of the play. She had the most amazing moves, Jane Baker. Not in the play, because she was a tree, but during the interval. And I forgot all the choreography, guys. I was meant to be feeding the birds as St. Francis, but very reverently feeding the birds. And I ended up feeding the birds, but like very vigorously, like feeding the birds, feeding the birds, feeding the... I was 6. I didn't know about masturbation. And look, I didn't make my move on Jane Baker immediately because our relationship was like the movie The Notebook with Ryan Gosling, obviously just without Ryan Gosling or a notebook or any form of relationship whatsoever. But other than that, exactly like the movie The Notebook. And so I didn't make a move on her for a few years. In fact, it was Peter Ainsley's 9th birthday party at Sihle during a game of Kiss Catch, which has subsequently been banned. There's a variant called Catch Request Consent Kiss, but it's not as much fun. And we were down by the reeds and she was chasing me. I wanted her to catch me so she'd kiss me. And so I let Jane Baker catch up with me and she caught me and looked deeply into my eyes. We locked eyes. It was like a scene from the movie Titanic, really, just without Leonardo DiCaprio or Kate Winslet or the ship named Titanic or the iceberg or the North Atlantic Ocean or the band or any sense of impending doom whatsoever. But other than that, exactly like the movie Titanic. And eventually she said to me, Nick, this is your opportunity. And I said, for what? And she said, it's called Kiss Catch, dumbass. We've done the catch. What the fuck do you think is next? She was very aggressive for a 9-year-old, and I'm pretty sure she's probably like a dominatrix now. I'm not really sure. And I looked back at her, and as much as I desperately wanted to kiss Jane Baker, I said no, because deep in my heart, I knew that Jane Baker wasn't Jewish. And I don't know how I knew that, because I didn't even know I was Jewish until my 12th birthday, when my dad sat me down and he said, boy, there's something we need to tell you. And I said, oh my God, I'm gay. And he said, possibly, but you're also Jewish. And I said, and now what? He said, well, we got to take you out of this school, move you to another school. And I said, and then what? He said, well, it's going to be your bar mitzvah, and you need to be able to sing in broken Hebrew from the Old Testament. And I said, why broken Hebrew? And he said, well, hopefully your voice will have broken by then. And I said, how am I going to learn Hebrew? And he said, Cheder. I said, what's Cheder? He said, it's Sunday school for Jews, but on a Saturday to fuck with your mind. And so I got there, and there were 5-year-olds in the class. I was 12. It was like Jewish Gulliver's Travels. I did a crash course. I learned Hebrew. I got up on my 13th birthday, and I sang the story of Noah from the Old Testament, or Noach, as we call him, because he was Flemish. I got up there, the opening bars were Rani Akara, which is broken Hebrew for getting the T-Rex in the ark was a nightmare for Noah. It was great. The after party was disappointing. Wisey Wiseglass had a much better after party the week before at the Arcade Games Centre, where Mrs. Wiseglass had given us 20 Rand in old giant 1 Rand coins and said, go wild on the arcade games, everybody. But I couldn't play arcade games because I'd come from a Waldorf school and I had a totally different set of life skills. If they'd asked me to play the treble recorder or plant a vegetable garden or knit a felt elephant or crochet my own underpants, I could have done those things. But I couldn't play arcade games, so I took that 20 Rand home with me. Not just because I couldn't play arcade games, but also because I just discovered I was Jewish. So I took that entire 20 Rand home with me and invested it in Bitcoin. 20 years before Bitcoin was invented. And that's why I'm still here working. Mazel tov, Nick.
I recently got a girlfriend after 30 years of flushing the toilet. If you know what I mean. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I asked God for anything, even an Uno. And he came through and he blessed me with a Lamborghini. Girl. But her mom, she's a Ferrari. Which means one day my girl is gonna be a Bugatti. Now, the funny thing is, whenever we're together, you know, people always tell us, you're such a cute couple. You're such a cute couple. No one ever told me I was cute when I was single. Now you're such a cute couple. Like every time people say, you're such a cute couple, I feel like they're saying, she's cute and I'm your. This is how I see an actual cute couple. For an example, you, a Jaguar. Your lady, a BM. Same sort of quality. You, a GTI. Your lady, a Ford ST. You see, same sort of quality, same level. My girlfriend, she's a Lamborghini. Me, I'm a Chevy Spark with an oil leak. I've been Cyril, not Ramaphosa. Tuma mina.